If you consume rice like this, then your sugar level will not increase. Even if you are suffering from diabetes, you can eat a plate full of rice without increasing your sugar level. This is the statement made by some of the doctors. On what basis they are making this statement? If you ask them, they are telling it's based upon a study which was conducted on 32 people. So what was this study? And as per them, how you are supposed to eat the rice without increasing your blood sugar level? So first of all, so rice, how do we consume the rice? Raw rice, which is undigestible, we cook it and make it soft, we make it digestible and we consume it fresh. But as for them, you're not supposed to consume this cooked fresh rice. You're supposed to keep this rice, fresh rice, cooked rice, you're supposed to keep this rice in a refrigerator for about 24 hours. When you keep this rice in a refrigerator for 24 hours, then what will happen? The water gets evaporated, the rice becomes cold and it becomes hard. That means to say the rice, 30% of the rice gets converted into resistant starch. This hardness of this cold rice, refrigerated rice is because of formation of resistant starch. So about 30% of rice becomes a resistant starch, and that 30% is undigestible. It will not get digested in your intestine, so it will not be absorbed. That means to say about 30% of the rice what you consume will be in the form of a resistant starch which won't get absorbed into your circulation. So 30% of increase in your blood sugar level can be avoided. In my opinion, this study is a nonsense study. It's an illogical study. So first thing is, so rice. So what is rice? Raw rice will be having a that is carbohydrate, which is a complex carbohydrate. We call it as a starch. Starch is nothing but a complex carbohydrate which won't get digested. If you consume raw rice, it won't get digested. So what we do, we cook it, we boil it, we make it digestible. We convert this complex carbohydrate into simpler form, then we consume it so that it gets digested and absorbed. Purpose of this study is to make the rice into undigestible form. But actually, why do we boil the rice? To make it digestible. See, it is somewhat a foolish study. It is somewhat equal to eating an half-boiled rice. As per this study, you are supposed to eat this cold, dry and hard rice. But some say you can boil it after refrigerating and taking it out after 24 hours. You can reboil it and eat it. But if you take it out and reboil it, again this resistant starch will break into simpler carbohydrate. So if you reboil it, it will be of no use. So more than these things, it has got so many complications. That is, cooling the rice to get this resistant starch has got many complications. So first thing is, it won't get digested. Any food which is being cooked and won't get digested starts decomposing. So this rice, resistant form of this carbohydrate which is there in your intestine, starts decomposing and produces foul smelling gases. And this because of this decomposition, infections, especially the bacterial infection, gut infections will be so more common and more frequent. You start getting the abdominal pain as well as fever and loose motion. So next, this resistant starch. So again, this resistant starch is not getting absorbed. It won't keep cool. It start irritating. What it does, it start irritating the intestinal mucosa. Mucosal cells getting irritated by this resistant starch. So you get pain, frequent abdominal pain. Along with that, it causes IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. So one more important thing about this resistant starch is this won't get absorbed. So along with that, it retains certain vitamins and minerals, that is the micronutrients. Certain micronutrients like vitamins and minerals absorption is also suppressed by this resistant starch, resulting in deficiency of certain vitamins as well as deficiency of certain minerals, and also it results in hormonal imbalance. So you are consuming this cold rice resistant starch to reduce your blood sugar level, but this is causing a hormonal imbalance and in turn it is increasing our blood sugar level. So what are we supposed to do? First thing is about the rice, about the consumption of rice. First thing you are supposed to remember is the carbohydrate. The rice is nothing but a carbohydrate, and carbohydrate is nothing but it's a source of energy. The only source of energy that we have is the carbohydrate. So we are supposed to consume the rice when we need energy, that means to say when we are feeling hungry, when we are actually need energy, at that time we consume the carbohydrate, that amount of rice gets utilized by our body. So we need carbohydrate, only that amount of rice we consume, then that much will be utilized. So extra glucose will not be there in the blood, but you're not feeling hungry, still you are consuming the rice, then that will not be utilized, it retains in the blood, increasing our blood sugar level. So consume a little amount of fresh cooked rice, a little amount of fresh cooked rice, that too when our body needs energy. Second thing is starchy, we have starchy carbohydrate and non-starchy carbohydrate. Rice, ragi, roti, everything, it's a starchy carbohydrate, and this starchy carbohydrate, so precisely speaking, it is not healthy. So not healthy means it causes insulin resistance. So when it causes an insulin resistance, there will be an hormonal imbalance, and this increases our blood sugar level. That is why it's not only the rice, even the ragi, jawar, wheat, everything. If we consume all these things in larger quantities, it causes insulin resistant, and it is responsible for our diabetes. So what are we supposed to eat? I said we have starchy carbohydrate. Second thing is non-starchy carbohydrates. This non-starchy carbohydrate, it is healthy. Where we get this non-starchy carbohydrate? Fruits. Fruits are nothing but a carbohydrate, but it's a simpler form of carbohydrate, that is the glucose and fructose. And this simpler carbohydrate, non-starchy carbohydrate, it is healthy. So consume lesser quantity of rice and consume a more quantity of fruits. Along with that, even the vegetables will be having the carbohydrate, which is a non-starchy. So more fruits, more vegetables, more green leafy vegetables, and a lesser quantity of fresh cooked rice is more healthy. Avoid using this cooked refrigerated rice, which is causing more health issues. Eat freshly cooked rice and avoid cooked and refrigerated rice, which is causing more health issues. If you need precise and scientific information about health, then only subscribe to our channel. Namaste.